Say these four ancient Hebrew words and watch what happens in 24 hours. There are moments in life when a person feels as if everything has slowed down, as if the world has pressed pause just long enough for a whisper of faith to break through. And sometimes that whisper does not come from the outside. It rises from something ancient within you, something connected to a spiritual language that existed long before you were born. The teachings surrounding the Hebrew language reveal something profound. Every letter carries energy, every sound carries intention, and every spoken word carries the potential to influence not only the soul but the circumstances surrounding it. This is why ancient wisdom teaches that certain Hebrew words are not merely vocabulary, they are spiritual tools. They are keys designed to unlock emotional clarity, protection, inner peace, and transformation. When spoken with sincerity, these words open doors not because they are magical, but because they align your inner world with higher purpose. And when the inner world aligns, the outer world begins to shift. When a person speaks Hebrew words with deep intention, something powerful happens inside them. Fear begins to loosen its grip. Anxiety begins to quiet. Confusion begins to dissolve. Why? Because these words contain centuries of spiritual resonance. They have been used by generations seeking guidance, strength, and clarity. And when you speak them, you connect yourself to that same timeless source. This is the foundation of Keynote 1C. The hidden power of Hebrew words lies in their design. Each letter is not just a symbol, it is a vessel of energy. Each combination of letters is a message encoded with spiritual structure. So when these four specific Hebrew words are spoken, they activate something deep within the person. They awaken trust, humility, and spiritual alignment. And it is this alignment that draws transformation into your life. Now, let us enter Keynote 2, the reason these words work so quickly, often within a single day. This is not about superstition or unrealistic expectations. It is about the principle of focus, intention, and spiritual resonance. When you speak these words, you are not controlling the universe. Instead, you are harmonizing yourself with it. You are stepping into a state of clarity where blessings can actually reach you. Think about this for a moment. How many times in life have blessings been near you, but your mind was too clouded with stress, frustration, or fear to notice? How many times has an opportunity been right in front of you, but emotional noise covered it like fog? These four words function like a spiritual clearing. They calm the heart and open the eyes. And when clarity comes, miracles that were already on the way become visible. Another reason these words bring change within 24 hours is because they stop the cycle of struggling in silence. When you speak them, you are acknowledging that you do not walk through life alone. You are tapping into a higher wisdom and surrendering the illusion that you must carry everything by yourself. This surrender is not weakness, it is the beginning of strength. It is the moment you stop resisting what is meant to enter your life. Many people underestimate the power of a sincere moment. One quiet moment can shift a lifetime of pressure. One intentional phrase can redirect the energy around a person. One decision to trust rather than fear can change the next 24 hours completely. When these Hebrew words are spoken with honesty, the emotional and spiritual shift begins instantly. And that shift is what allows blessings to move faster. You may notice that when you speak them, your mind becomes lighter, your decisions become clearer, and your emotions become steadier. Suddenly, you start seeing solutions instead of problems. You shift from worry to calm, from confusion to clarity, from doubt to expectancy. And when expectancy replaces doubt, miracles appear not because something outside changed, but because you finally created space for them. This is the essence of why these words work so quickly. They awaken the spiritual state that miracles respond to. They soften the heart, sharpen the mind, and strengthen the soul. And when the soul becomes strong, Everything around it begins to lean in its favor. Remember this: miracles are not random, they are attracted to alignment. And alignment is created by intention, humility, and focus, the exact qualities ignited by these four Hebrew words. Speak them slowly, speak them with sincerity, speak them with the belief that the next 24 hours hold possibilities you have not yet imagined, and watch how your inner world begins to shift, making room for the blessings already moving towards you. There are moments in life when a person does everything they know how to do, yet nothing seems to move. Effort increases, prayers rise, plans are made, but blessings remain unreachable. It can feel as though something unseen stands between you and the life you desire. This is where Keynote 3 becomes powerful, understanding that many barriers in life are not physical but spiritual, emotional, and energetic. And the moment these four Hebrew words are spoken with awareness, those invisible walls begin to weaken. The first type of barrier these words break is inner resistance. Most people do not realize how deeply internal fear can affect their external reality. Fear creates tension, and tension blocks the flow of good things. Fear closes the heart, tightens the mind, and makes a person spiritually heavy. But when these Hebrew words are spoken, they create a softening within. They bring stillness to the storm inside, and when the storm quiets, the barrier begins to crack. Another barrier cleared by these words is past emotional weight. Life leaves marks, disappointments, betrayals, failures, people who hurt you, situations that drained you. These experiences can sit inside the heart like stones, making it hard for new blessings to enter. But these words were spoken for generations to release emotional heaviness. They cleanse the heart by reminding the soul that new chapters are possible, new beginnings are allowed, and the past has no right to own the future. There is also the barrier of negative energy, thoughts, environments, or even the energy of others. When someone carries negativity, it becomes like a fog surrounding them. It dims intuition, weakens confidence, and slows progress. But because Hebrew is a sacred language built on spiritual resonance, these words vibrate differently. They cut through negativity like a beam of light through darkness. They clear the space around you so that peace can return, and once peace returns, blessings find their way with ease. One of the strongest barriers these words break is self-limitation. Many people unknowingly hold themselves back. They doubt their worth, underestimate their strength, or assume life must always be difficult. These beliefs become invisible chains. But when these words are spoken, they anchor you to faith instead of fear. They awaken a sense of inner authority, reminding you that you are guided, supported, and capable of receiving more than you imagined. That brings us to Keynote 4, the profound shift that happens when these words enter your mind, your energy, and the environment around you. The mind is the first place transformation begins. The moment these words are spoken, your mental state becomes calmer, more centered, and more focused. The noise inside the mind begins to fade. Overthinking slows down. Anxiety loosens its grip. When the mind becomes quiet, clarity appears. And clarity is one of the greatest spiritual gifts a person can receive because clarity leads to right decisions, right actions, and right timing. These words do not only calm the mind, they shift your energy. Human beings are energy-based. When a person is stressed, their energy contracts. When hopeful, it expands. When heavy, it sinks. When inspired, it rises. The four Hebrew words open the energy field like a window, letting in light where darkness once settled. They lift you from heaviness to hope, from fear to trust, from tension to ease. And energy is contagious. When your energy rises, everything around you rises. This energetic shift influences your environment as well. People respond differently to you. Opportunities feel closer. Conversations become smoother. Solutions appear where previously there were only obstacles. Even small moments begin to flow with more ease. It is not that the world suddenly changed. It is that you changed. And when you change, your environment reshapes itself around your new state. The reason this shift is so powerful is because it brings alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, and energy align, life starts working with you instead of against you. You become magnetic to the things meant for you. You become clearer, calmer, and more receptive. The four Hebrew words act like a tuning fork, bringing your whole being into harmony. And when harmony is present, miracles can reach you faster. Another profound effect of speaking these words is the awakening of spiritual awareness. You begin noticing signs you previously ignored. You sense guidance more clearly. You feel connected rather than alone. This connection restores strength, renews hope, and revives trust. Once trust awakens, fear loses its influence, and when fear fades, blessings move freely. These words also create a shift in your emotional environment. They bring comfort where there was pain, confidence where there was uncertainty, and peace where there was restlessness. This emotional shift becomes the fertile ground where miracles grow. When the heart becomes calm, the mind becomes clear. When the mind becomes clear, the spirit becomes strong. And when the spirit becomes strong, the impossible becomes possible. This is why these words have been spoken for generations. They restore inner balance, clear invisible blocks, and realign your life with spiritual flow. And when alignment returns, blessings that were delayed begin to move. Doors that were stuck begin to open. Paths that seemed lost become visible again. There is a truth woven into ancient teachings that many people forget: nothing in life moves by accident. There is timing behind every shift, wisdom behind every delay, and meaning behind every open door. But what most do not realize is that a person can align themselves with this higher timing not by force, but through spiritual connection. This is where Keynote 5 becomes powerful, because these four Hebrew words are not simply phrases to repeat, they are a bridge that brings you closer to divine assistance. Every time these words are spoken, something subtle begins to unfold. It is not loud and dramatic, it is gentle, it is quiet, but it is real. You begin to notice that life becomes more guided. You feel supported in ways you can't fully explain. Conversations occur at the right moment. You hear something that answers a question you were silently asking. You meet someone who brings clarity or opportunity. This is the nature of divine alignment. It shows up in the little things long before it appears in the big ones. These words open that channel. They create spiritual alignment because they come from a language built on design, structure, and intention. When spoken, they signal the heart that it is safe to trust again. They signal the mind that it is safe to release control. And they signal the soul that help is allowed to enter. Divine assistance is never absent, it is simply blocked when a person tries to carry everything alone. These four words act as a release. They create space. They shift you from resistance to receptivity, and receptivity is where assistance begins. Another profound effect these words have is helping you align with the timing that is meant for you. Not everything we desire arrives when we want it. Sometimes a blessing delayed is really a blessing protected. Sometimes a door closed is simply a door preparing itself to open at a better moment. These words help you feel the rhythm of that timing instead of fighting against it. When you speak them, you move into flow instead of force. You begin sensing when to wait and when to move, when to let go and when to pursue, when to trust and when to act. This is one of the greatest spiritual gifts, the ability to recognize the right moment. Because when the right moment is honored, breakthroughs feel effortless. Now we enter Keynote 6, why consistency in speaking these four Hebrew words strengthens your faith and accelerates the blessings moving toward you. Faith is like a muscle, it becomes stronger when used regularly, even if used quietly. The act of speaking these words daily creates a rhythm of trust. It conditions your mind and heart to expect good, to release fear. Over time, this consistency rewires your inner world. You become less reactive, less anxious, less overwhelmed by uncertainty. Instead, you grow more grounded, more confident, and more spiritually aware. And when faith strengthens, miracles respond faster. Not because the words themselves change the world outside you, but because they change the world inside you. Consistency also deepens the emotional impact of the words. The first time you speak them, you may feel a small shift. The second time, peace may grow stronger. The third time, clarity begins to rise. But by the 10th, 20th, or 30th repetition, something much deeper happens. The words no longer feel like something you are saying, they become something you believe. And belief is the soil where miracles root. When the soul truly believes it is supported, aligned, and protected, blessings begin to move at a different speed. Doors open faster, solutions appear quicker, opportunities reveal themselves with more clarity. Why? Because doubt slows everything down. Faith accelerates everything. Consistency also builds spiritual discipline. Many people speak powerful words once or twice and expect their entire life to change overnight. But transformation does not respond to occasional effort. It responds to steady commitment. When you show up for your spiritual practice, your spiritual life shows up for you. When you repeat these words daily, you are sending a message to the universe, to your mind, and to your soul. I am ready. I am aligned. I am open. This readiness shifts your entire energy field. You become lighter, clearer, and more magnetic to the blessings meant for you. Suddenly, breakthroughs that once felt distant begin to feel close. The path ahead becomes less foggy. The future begins to take shape. And even when challenges appear, you face them with strength instead of fear. Another powerful effect of consistency is that it rewrites your internal story. Many people walk through life carrying stories of I can't, I'm stuck, I'm unlucky, or nothing changes for me. These stories become mental prisons. But when these four Hebrew words are spoken regularly, they begin dissolving those old narratives. They remind the soul of its connection to something higher, something greater, something capable of transforming even the heaviest situations. Soon, the story inside you shifts from limitation to possibility, from doubt to expectancy, from fear to trust. And when your internal story changes, your external reality follows. This is why these words, spoken consistently, strengthen faith and speed up breakthroughs. They align your inner world with divine timing, open the path for assistance, and prepare your heart to receive what has always been meant for you. There is a quiet truth about life that many people forget. The greatest battles we face are not always physical. They take place inside the heart. They show up in the form of worry, stress, fear, heaviness, and doubt. These invisible emotions shape the way we think, the way we act, and even the way we see possibilities. This is why Keynote 7 is so important, because these four Hebrew words have the power to reshape the emotional landscape within you. When you speak these words, something shifts immediately, even if gently. The emotional noise begins to soften, the pressure in your chest loosens, thoughts that were racing begin to slow down. These words carry a calming energy because they are rooted in spiritual presence. They remind you on a deep level that you are not alone and that something greater is guiding you. Many people live with emotional heaviness without even realizing it. They carry years of disappointment, unspoken pain, and silent burdens. This emotional weight becomes a fog that sits over the heart. But when these words enter your daily life, they act like a cleansing wind. They sweep away the fog so the heart can breathe again. Peace begins as a small flicker, but with repetition it grows into a steady flame. These words also transform emotional reactions. Instead of responding with fear, you begin responding with clarity. Instead of being overwhelmed, you stay grounded. Instead of panicking, you find yourself trusting. This emotional transformation is one of the greatest miracles a person can experience. When the heart is calm, everything else becomes possible. And there is something even deeper. These words help you detach from emotional patterns that no longer serve you. Many people repeat the same emotional cycles over and over: anger, fear, sadness, hopelessness. These cycles drain the spirit and block progress. But when spoken consistently, these four words break emotional habits. They shift you from reacting out of pain to responding out of peace. This brings you into a state where blessings can flow more naturally. Emotional stability creates spiritual strength, and spiritual strength creates a life aligned with purpose. Now we enter Keynote 8: How Speaking These Words Daily Creates a Miracle Conscious Mindset. A miracle conscious mindset is not about expecting the impossible every minute. It is about living with awareness, openness, and spiritual readiness. It means seeing life not as random but as guided. It means believing that breakthroughs are possible, that changes can happen quickly, and that nothing is too difficult for the one guiding your path. When you speak these Hebrew words daily, your inner world begins to align with this mindset. The more you repeat them, the more natural it becomes to expect good instead of fearing the worst. You stop waking up with dread. You stop assuming things will go wrong. You stop viewing challenges as dead ends. Instead, you begin to look at each day with a quiet hope: something good can happen today. This mental shift is life-changing. A person who expects blessings notices opportunities. A person who expects help recognizes guidance. A person who expects clarity sees signs that were previously invisible. A miracle conscious mindset sharpens your spiritual vision. It makes you sensitive to subtle messages, intuitive insights, and inner nudges that guide your actions. Speaking these words daily also trains the mind to stay focused. A scattered mind becomes easily discouraged. A focused mind becomes powerful. These words act like spiritual anchors. They ground your thoughts, steady your emotions, and direct your attention toward what truly matters. With time, your mind becomes clearer, your decisions become wiser, and your confidence becomes stronger. A miracle conscious mindset also dissolves negativity before it has the chance to grow. When your mind is filled with doubt, you attract more doubt. When your mind is filled with fear, you see more reasons to be afraid. But when your mind is filled with spiritual expectation, negativity loses its influence. You begin to see solutions where others see problems. You find peace in situations that once made you anxious. And you notice blessings that were previously hidden behind the noise of worry. This is the subtle miracle of these four Hebrew words. They reshape the way you see the world. Not by changing the world outside, but by transforming your perception inside. Speaking them daily strengthens your ability to believe again. It softens the heart so you can receive. It opens the mind so you can understand. It elevates your spirit so you can rise above situations that once held you down. Over time, the mindset created by these words becomes your natural state. Peace becomes normal. Hope becomes stable. Trust becomes your foundation. This mindset itself becomes a blessing because it prepares the path for miracles to arrive. Miracles are drawn to people who expect them, not fear them. And these words give you the courage to expect good again. They remind you that every day holds potential. Every hour can bring change. Every moment is alive with spiritual possibility. This is the essence of a miracle: conscious mindset, a heart open, a mind clear, and a soul ready to receive.